All right, and yesterday, President Draupadi Murmu honored Rajagopalachari, India's first Indian Governor General. This was by unveiling his bust at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, replacing the bust of Edwin Lutyens, following which politics has now erupted. UBT Sena has said future generations of India would only know of Vimal Hasmukh Patel architectural legacy because I am certain whatever is left of Lutyens' design history will be broken down, redesigned or repurposed under the narrative of ridding ourselves of our colonial history. PDP too waded into the row, saying how does it help India to continue with this warped, misplaced sense of anger towards its history, this constant obsession of wiping off the colonial hangover. Meanwhile, Congress MP Shashi Tharoor says he's truly pleased to see Rajaji honoured by a statue at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. So this is the latest that we're seeing right now. President Draupadi Murmu honoured India's first Indian Governor General by unveiling his bust at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. We are now seeing the political war of words that's broken out after this was done, where many are saying that this is perhaps an attempt at wiping off our colonial hangover. In fact, they have waded into the controversy, saying that what is this? How does it help India to continue with this warped, misplaced sense of anger towards its history, this constant obsession of wiping off the colonial hangover? Remember, this bust was replacing the bust of Edwin Lutyens, following which politics has now erupted. Now, Congress MP Shashi Tharoor has said that he is truly pleased to see Rajaji honoured by a statue of Rashtrapati Bhavan. On the other hand, we're seeing how UBT Sena has said that future generations of India will only know of Vimal Hasmukh Patel architectural legacy because whatever is left of Lutyens' design will be broken down, redesigned and repurposed under the narrative of ridding ourselves of our colonial history. So to which the PDP too has waded into the row, saying that it does not in fact help India by removing its colonial past, and has called it misplaced anger towards our history, which of course some could contend that this is indeed a colonial hangover and this is a reclaimed by India as well, where Congress MP Shashi Tharoor says that he is truly pleased to see Rajaji being honoured by a statue at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Remember, this is the statue of Edward Lutyens, which has been replaced, the bust that we're talking about here. And New Delhi's British architect, of course, architecture which is being replaced now, to which the UBT Sena has contended that all that Indian future generations are going to know of is a different sort of legacy. Let's listen into some of the reactions that have come in also.
Today, a statue of Lutyens, a British architect, was removed and it was replaced with that of Rajaji, C. Rajagopalachari, a close aide of Mahatma Gandhi, a great son of India, freedom fighter. But the ecosystem is opposing this. They call themselves progressive liberals. World over, the progressives celebrate that the symbols of colonialism are being done away with. But in India, they want the symbols of colonialism and gulami to persist. But if we celebrate our own legacy, our own culture, our own civilizational heritage, then they have a problem with it. They hate India so much that they are willing to even adopt British and Mughal and their symbols, but they hate the symbols of Atmanirbhar Bharat. These people, they continue to live in a colonial gulami mindset.
Now, of course, there's a larger conversation here on what this move really represents. Remember, this is an announcement was made during the 131st episode of Prime Minister Modi's monthly radio program, which is Man Ki Baat. It drew immediate attention for this particular move that was announced. He said on that show as well that today the country is leaving behind the symbols of slavery and has begun to value symbols related to Indian culture. Now, for more on this, we have Pallavi Ghosh live with us. Pallavi, thank you so much for joining me. Now, as Prime Minister Modi had said during Man Ki Baat as well, that we are slowly doing away with these symbols of slavery and giving more value, much due value to the symbols related to Indian culture. This is also not a practice which is exclusive to India. We've seen this across the United Kingdom as well. This is a reclamation. What really appears to be the issue here then?
So him, the hallmark of this government and something which the Prime Minister focuses on is that we have to overcome the colonial mindset. There are many symbols and practices which epitomize what colonialism is all about, what the British rule was all about. And since there is an Indian culture and an Indian identity, that is something which needs to be reasserted. For example, the remaking of the new parliament building, every nuance over there, Heb, is something which reflects Indian culture and ethos. Kartavya Path, that's where the India Gate Road has been renamed. The Seva Teeth, that's the Prime Minister's office. All of this is a symbol and example of how the government is focusing on overcoming the colonial mindset. So, unveiling of the statue of Rajagopalachari, who is the first Governor General of independent India, in place of Edwin Lutyens, who was, of course, as we know, a replica of the British Empire or colonialism, essentially shows this or overthrowing the colonial mindset. And that is what many opposition parties seem to be having an objection to. Now, Shashi Tharoor, as always, him is making a different voice, and over here he welcomes the installation of Rajagopalachari statue, and he
Right.
says he himself has been inspired by him.